Hello everybody. I am here. I want to talk about something that's pretty serious. I've spent much of this afternoon with my daughter and some of her high school friends and family and parents of a young man who last week was murdered. He was murdered as a result of him standing up for a young woman who was being abused by her boyfriend. This young man stood in the gap. This young man took his life into his own hands. This young man was raised to value women. He was raised to value all human beings. In fact, my daughter and her friends say that this was how he lived his life, always protecting, always standing in the gap for people who needed someone to be on their side. This was how he lived. This is how his beautiful, precious mom raised him. And so this night he was at a party with his friends or some event with his friends, and in fact it was his best friend who murdered him. And so here's what I want to say. I want to talk first to anybody out there who might be in an abusive relationship. I'm not talking about just women, because come on now, men are abused as well. Anybody out there who is in a relationship, who is in a situation where your partner demeans you, puts you down on a regular basis, talks about you in a negative way, in a condescending way. If you are in a relationship with anybody who hits you, bites you, kicks you, punches you, slaps you, if you're in a relationship with anybody who forces you, whether it is through manipulation or through physical force, who forces you to have sexual intercourse with them, you are in an abusive relationship. And here's what I need you to know. You deserve better. And you know what? Even the abuser deserves better, but they just don't realize it. And so what they do is they act out, they live out their self-hate and project that on to you, whoever you are that's out there that is being abused, who is being mistreated, who is being mishandled, who is being treated in a way other than how God created you to be treated, and that is with dignity and with honor. I gotta exhale, because I'm feeling this, you see. Because this young man lost his life for standing in the gap, for saying it is not okay for men to abuse women. And it cost him his life. His so-called friend went home, got a gun, came back, shot him. 22 years old. And what my daughter tells me and her friends is that this is how this young man lived his life. He was always standing in the gap. So there was someone who stood in the gap. But it ought not cost him his life. But standing in the gap for people who need help, for people who are victims, for people who are vulnerable, does sometimes cost us, will sometimes cost us. It may cost us some discomfort. It may cost us our reputations. It may cost us some friendships. But it is never wrong to do the right thing. And that's what this beautiful young man did. He did the right thing. The one who murdered him did the very wrong thing. And so you may be out there tonight, and you may be in a relationship with someone. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be an intimate partner. I know that this may be difficult for some of us to believe, but there are mothers out there who abuse their children. There are fathers out there who abuse their children. And abuse is not restricted to physical assaults or attacks. Anybody who is talking to you like you got a tail, anybody that is always consistently talking to you in ways that dishonor, that demean, that destroy your self-confidence, that undermine your self-esteem, that is an abusive relationship. Yes, it is. But what I need you to know, beloved, is that you deserve better. You deserve better. You are created just like the abuser in the image of God. And that means that you are valuable. That means that you have purpose. That means that you are worthwhile. That means that you are creative. That means that you bear the mark of God in your spirit and in your soul. And you were not created to be treated in such a fashion. I need you to get that in your spirit. And I know that just listening to this Facebook post is not going to change the way you feel about yourself. I get that. I understand that it takes time. But maybe today you can begin the process, the long journey of learning how to value and love your own self. And maybe you know somebody, maybe it's not you, maybe you know somebody who is in an abusive relationship, and you see it, and you may even talk about it with your friends, but you don't say anything to the person who is being abused because you don't think it'll make a difference. Well, let me tell you something. It might make a difference. It just might. Aren't they worth taking that risk to say something? To tell them that they're beautiful, to tell them that they're worthwhile, to tell them that they deserve better. I know about what I speak because it took me a long time to come to realize what it meant to be created in the image of God. It took me a while to realize that the abuse I was receiving, I did not deserve. That I was not intrinsically flawed. But it took people coming around me, pouring love and life into me to help me to realize that. Perhaps you can be that and do that for somebody tonight. It's just been on my heart. God bless you if you're out there. You deserve better. You deserve better. God bless you.